is adventure time. Some guy riding my ass. It is Friday, the first Friday after Halloween 2017, and I'm playing hooky, and I'm going up into the mountains. I'm on my way to pick up Brian, and Greg is supposed to meet us there at Brian's house, and we're going to head up to Robinson's Flat, up to 7,000 feet, to catch the first snow of the season. It's going to be pretty fun. None of us have really done a lot of cold camping. By cold, I mean California cold. The lows previously have been forecast down to 15 degrees, but last I checked, the lows are supposed to be high 20s, which still should be okay. I have a 15-degree bag. Greg has a 15-degree bag. Brian has my old bag, which I have no idea what the rating is, but I'm packed to the gills with a bunch of moving blankets and extra sleeping bags and stuff, so I do believe we've got everything covered. This will be a really nice trip to gauge exactly. It's funny, you bring everything that you have so that you can gauge how little you would need to actually bring to be safe and warm. So I'm going to start with the minimal possible setup, and if that doesn't work, I'll add one more layer, whatever, and find out exactly what I need so that I can go out and try to do this out on the motorcycle. The goal is to make sure that my sleeping bag and sleeping pad alone can actually withstand the 15-degree Fahrenheit rating that it's set for. So if it's not, I've got backups, I've got other layers, I've got moving blankets, other sleeping bags, stuff to layer up. And if the sleeping bag fails, then I'm returning that really expensive thing back to REI. The problem at REI, which stands for really expensive items, the problem is they do actually have a lot of quality, high-performing gear. You have to pay for it. You get what you pay for usually, but unfortunately, there's a lot of brands that outsource a lot of stuff. In fact, I think everything's outsourced anyway nowadays. But you'll get some really good brands that outsource stuff and kind of rest on their laurels on their brand being associated with quality. And sometimes you'll pay a lot of money for a top brand item, but it doesn't actually perform. I believe there's probably three main tiers of equipment. There's the Walmart or Target kind of level stuff, where if you're going to go for a weekend every couple of summers or something like that, this is usually perfect. Then there's the really expensive stuff, like the alpine mountaineering stuff, that you'll spend hundreds of dollars per item. And then you get the middle of the tier stuff that claims to be the alpine mountaineering stuff, has very close to the alpine mountaineering price tag, but is really just the same, almost the same quality as the Target, Walmart stuff. And unfortunately, you have to weed through a lot of gear to find the right ones. We had all agreed to meet at Brian's house at 9 a.m. Wasn't too early, wasn't too late. Of course, I was excited to get up into the snow, so I was a few minutes early as always. Brian was ready to go, which was nice because it meant he was about as excited as I was to get up there. After a short game of Tetris, everything was in the truck and we were ready to go. Where was Greg? After standing around for a few minutes, I had some morning coffee, and we had a bit of speculation about where our straggler might be. At the stroke of 9 o'clock, we both received the text that stated he was not in fact in Livermore, but he was just about to leave his house in Hayward. Sorry, buddy. You're just going to have to meet us up there. So the latest update, where are we?
We are above Forest Hill, heading up the mountain.
We just left Forest Hill. Up the mountain.
Almost no rain.
Rain is slowing. Hopefully it'll turn into snowflakes soon.
As weird as that sounds.
Greg is about an hour behind.
Somewhere back there.
He didn't show up to Brian's house. We were all packed, loaded, ready to go, and then we got the text saying he was just about to leave the house. So he's back yonder somewhere. And say or don't say whatever you want to the fucking camera. You can be a complete dick because
You'll edit it all out later.
all of this is just a matter of editing. I can make you say stupid shit that you don't mean and chop
Did you record
it.
that conversation with my boss?
No,
there?
I didn't, actually.
He's a really cool dude to work for.
Yeah, and he'll never know because I'm going to edit that part out. Where are we at?
We're in Tahoe.
How do you know?
Because it says right there.
Because that's what the sign says.
Because it smells like Tahoe.
Tahoe National Forest.
Oh, I love the mountains. It's cold and it's wet and it's great.
That's going in the video.
Oh.
Christmas tree farm.
Dude, that would be a cool, I don't
That's
want to
the
say
next big- the next
retirement
big money
business,
idea.
but why not? It's simple, it's easy, I love trees.
We're going to start a Christmas tree farm, everybody.
There you go, you need a
And
piece of
retire.
land, let's get a Christmas tree farm.
All right, we're doing it. Everything looks so much different here when it's wet.
Really? Just the color is different?
The color is completely different. Because picture everything being a light dust tan.
Okay. God, just the devastation of the Burn Valley is just a lot to take in. I mean, I know what it should look like, and it doesn't.
Yeah, normally this is a tunnel,
Right.
like a shaded tunnel of trees.
Because nothing grows like these mountainside trees, too, man. Yeah, dude, I hope there's nobody else out here.
Yeah, it would be really cool if we have the place to ourselves.
That'd be really cool. Well, without having to go in deep to get by ourselves. We're going to be by ourselves one way or another.
Well, there could be other people at the campsites, which is where their bear boxes are, but if we have to go out to dispersed camping, then each of the designated spots that are kind of there already with fire pits, they're all kind of secluded.
Okay, so even if there's somebody there...
Some of them cliffside.
Nice. Oh,
All right, back up into the clouds. I have 3 words. Yeehaw, Jack.
Yeehaw, Jack. We have snow.
We have snow. It is 34 degrees outside, and we now officially have snow and the first sight of Lego trees. Do you know what the Lego trees are?
No.
These ones.
Oh.
the
Dude, yeah, they're the
plastic
ones,
Lego trees.
They're the ones I want to dig up and take home and put in a pot as a bonsai. I mean, someone else is here.
Well, somebody else was here when the slush was.
It's snowing. That means somebody is mere minutes ahead of us, is what it means.
We know it's not Greg.
No, it's not Greg. Greg's
Snot Greg.
back there. God. Fucking crazy.
Alright, that's enough comedy relief.
Hey, whatever.
Or is it?
No, never.
Making fresh tracks. Nobody has been up here. 33 degrees now and snowing lightly. But there is nobody else up here. Nobody. What do you do? What do you do? With limited light, increasing rain, and no waterproof camera gear, Brian and I found a site with adequate tree spacing so we could put up a tarp high enough to have a campfire underneath. By the time Brian and I got the tarp set up, our tents pitched, and tarped, it was already dark. I had to use my headlamp for enough light to start a campfire. It rained pretty heavily all night long, as opposed to snowing like we expected. Just about 5 a.m., everything grew quiet. That meant the snow was finally here. Less than an hour later, our main tarp came crashing down under the weight of the heavy snow. I jumped up and did enough damage control that at least our fireplace was covered and wouldn't be buried. Just about that same time, Brian was woken up abruptly with a nice cold wet tent slapping in the side of the face as his tent poles caved. So, it only took a short meeting to agree. We had learned what we needed. Our sleep systems worked well, and we needed better planning to make usable shelters for this much snow. All right, this is trying not to get anything wet. None of this is water resistant. The gimbal is not water resistant. The camera is not.
It's not in its cage.
But I had to get some of this on film. We're packing up camp.
This is what failure looks like, kids.
It's only been snowing since 5 a.m. this morning. This is now Saturday morning. And it is accumulating so quickly that if we stay here any longer, we may be stuck.
They're gonna close the park on us.
Yeah, my battery's about to die too.
This isn't failure, this is knowing where our limits are.
Yep, this is the big learning.
This is a strategic retreat. There you go, I like that. It's not a route, it's a strategic retreat.
We are the only people up here. It's awesome. Brian, what do you have to say for yourself?
This was awesome, man. I mean, like you said, it's not a retreat. We're just choosing not to stay another night.
We're packing.
Period. That's it, right?
We're packing up camp, and now we can. Once camp is packed, we're easily mobile. We can stay as long as we want.
Right.
We can really get the fire going without this failed tarp going. Brian and I stayed in tents out in the woods. Was playing fun with irrigation.
Yeah.
And having serious cave-ins with the weight of the snow. But I think all in all, this was a big success, and we will be coming back. This is not the last, just the first.
Yep.
Can I get a hoorah?
Hoorah.
Hoorah. Hoorah.